Good afternoon, everyone. Today is, wait, hold on. What is today? Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. February, no, sorry, March. Let me get my mind right. Dang. That's what happens when you do a lot of time traveling. You kind of forget the days. You kind of forget what time of day it is. Today is Tuesday, March the 19th, 2024. Grace and peace, everybody. Grace and peace. And y'all know what to do as y'all come in. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right. So was reading this article the other day and I said, man, I think I want to go ahead and try to cover this. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that down. Let me see. But yeah, Grace and Peace Doki Bible Club. Grace and Peace. How you doing this afternoon? But yeah, I am trying to figure out why this is not showing up on my. Oh, here we go. There we go. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see what we looking like on Rumble. All right, there we go. There we go. We good on Rumble. We good on Rumble. All right, here we go. Just wanted to make sure everybody that we was firing on all cylinders, because y'all know I'm streaming from multiple platforms. Man, I'm streaming from X, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. And then also Rumble. I'm now streaming live on Rumble. So as I'm babbling, I'm kind of letting people come in. We got Big Nate up in the house. Grace and peace, Big Nate. Grace and peace, Big Nate. Let me see. Is anybody watching on? Okay, so we don't have anybody watching on Instagram as of yet. But, as always, no matter what platform that you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. All right. So, like I was saying before I got distracted, before I distracted myself, I came across this article the other day and I was reading it and I thought this was a pretty interesting article to go ahead and share with you guys, especially amid the election that is coming up for the next president of the United States. And we've been hearing this term probably for like the last 3 to 4 years. White nationalists, Christian nationalism. Well, actually Christian nationalism. And a lot of people are trying to figure out what that term is. But whenever we think about Christian nationalism, especially with the mainstream media, they try to paint it as the January 6th MAGA hat wearing type people. And they say that those are Christian nationalists. But then there are some people who are being thrown or being categorized as Christian nationalists who don't even support Trump, who totally reject that whole notion of running up to the Capitol on January 6th. So it just seems like anybody who was white and who has some conservative values are being labeled as a Christian nationalist. And thank you, Doki Bible Club, for that super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I'm sorry. Sorry, that wasn't a super chat. He gifted somebody, I guess it was Big Nate, with a membership. And actually, let me go ahead and give Doki Bible Club a hand clap, because Doki Bible Club, I believe, is a member. I believe Doki Bible Club is a member. And he just gifted someone, Big Nate, who's also watching here on YouTube, with the membership. All right. So let's go ahead and get back to this. Now, I want to go ahead and read this article. And Grace and Peace, Keem, how you doing? Grace and Peace, Michelle. And thank you guys for showing up. And y'all remember to go ahead and hit that like button. So, but this is what I want to do, all right? Before we actually get into this particular article, and y'all see the title on the screen. Y'all see the headline on the screen of this article. So that's what is prompting me to do this particular video, and what is prompting me to ask this on the live poll, only found on YouTube. Okay, so y'all know that the live polls are only on YouTube at the moment. Hopefully I could be able to get it popping on some of these other platforms and stuff like that. Don't know why this ain't turning down, but it's all right. But I'm asking, let's go ahead and hit the Jeopardy music. I'm asking, are white Christians more concerned with building a Christian nation? All right, so far 17% of you guys say absolutely. That's what Christian nationalism is. 0% of you saying that is nonsense. They're only concerned about saving souls. 33% of you say depends on who you ask. And 50% of you say you're really not sure. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into this article. And we're going to see exactly what the article says about white evangelicals, right? Because it says that white evangelicals want Christian influence, not a Christian nation. Kiana, grace and peace, Kiana. She says, what does more concerned mean? Let me see. Well, basically, what I mean by more concerned is that that if you talk to the average, I guess, and this is just according to this particular article and some of the terminology that's being used. You know, I don't really hold to this stuff myself. A lot of views, and let me go ahead and put this disclaimer out there. You know, the views that are expressed on this channel and some of the things that are said on this channel in reference to what others have said doesn't totally reflect my position or the position of those who I'm affiliated with. All right, so I just want to go ahead and put that out there. But what I mean by more concerned is that, do people believe that people who are white and evangelical, are they, I guess you would say, are they more focused on building a Christian nation, having this nation that's just Christian everything, almost like the Seven Mountain theology type thing? But, you know, for context, we're talking about the whole notion of the whole Christian nationalism thing. You know, we got to have a Christian president with everybody that's in Congress and in the political sphere Christian. Everybody just has to be Christian. You know, once we build this Christian nation, then Christ is going to come back and he's going to basically set everything straight, right? So, or we got to make sure that this nation is Christian in order for Christ to come down and bless us, right? Are people more concerned with that than they are seeing souls saved? All right. And like I said, I'm asking that for a reason based on this particular article that I read. All right, let's just go ahead and get into this. All right. Well, here's the subheading. The subheading says a new study finds white evangelicals are more eager to see their faith reflected more in the government, but very few say they support Christian nationalism. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put this down in the chat. All right, because I want you guys to go ahead and read this whenever you guys get a chance. All right, I want you guys to go ahead and read this whenever you get a chance. So, because I want everybody to kind of know what's going on in context. You know, don't just listen to me, because y'all know sometimes, you know, I could be a little off my rocker. All right. Let's continue. In a country where 80% of adults believe religion's influence is in decline, white evangelicals stand out as the group most likely to want to see their faith reflected in the U.S. government. All right. Grace and peace, brother Berean. Grace and peace, brother Berean. And this is KL. He says, nah, most think the best way to save souls is to project Christianity with Christian nationalism. All right. Let's continue. According to a new survey from the Pew Research Center, most white evangelicals want a president who reflects their religious beliefs, believe the Bible should have some influence on U.S. laws, and see the retreat of religion as a bad thing. Yet they oppose adopting Christianity as an official religion, and very few, 8%, have a quote-unquote favorable view of Christian nationalism. Wow, so they say only 8%. Overall, nearly half of these adults see the decline of religious influence in the country as a bad thing, White evangelicals are the most likely to see the trend negatively at 76%. The majority of other Christians across the traditions agree. How many of y'all agree with that? How many of y'all agree with that? Kiana Shaw says the CNers don't think that everyone needs or will be Christian for the nation to be a Christian nation. And they think that, and they don't think that will usher in Christ's return. It's about civil governance. And then y'all know that I did do a, what was it? It was I reviewed another article with John MacArthur. He was talking about like Christian nationalism and all of that stuff. And he was saying, and here's the thing, I know I've ran into some of these people who are like theonomists. And some of those people you guys are kind of familiar with, guys like Jeff Durbin and James White. They kind of hold to like a, theonomist type view to where it's our duty as Christians to kind of turn this nation into a Christian nation. Like we got to try to, put as much Christian influence on the nation so that, because we're basically called as Christians to kind of change the culture, right? Now, they're not as radical as some people that I've talked to. Some people are like really, really radical. But if I had to kind of give you an example of some people who actually believe like that, would be people like your James White and your Jeff Durbins. Although they don't really promote that, you really got to kind of watch a lot of their stuff to kind of get the gist of, what they believe when it comes to that particular topic. All right, let's continue. Most Americans want to see someone in the White House who stands up for their religious beliefs. Though few see either candidate in the 2024 race particularly religious, more than 2/3 of white evangelicals believe Donald Trump comes to their defense. How many of y'all believe that Donald Trump comes to the defense of Christians and Christian freedoms than Joe Biden? Because as we read this particular article, and I know some people that they ain't going to agree. They're really not going to agree with some of these terms and some of these things, and that's all right. We don't need to agree on everything. But again, how many of you guys believe that Donald Trump is a better candidate when protecting the religious freedoms of Christians? All right, just let me know. Despite the increasing buzz around Christian nationalism from candidates on the stump or on social media, Pew found that most Americans, 54%, and most Christians have not heard of the term at all. How? Okay. I don't know. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know how accurate that is. And this is where I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know who they asked when it came to this poll, because they're saying that 54% of Americans and most Christians have not heard of the term at all. But to be honest, I don't know who they asked, but I don't know how accurate that is. Quote, even those who think the United States should be a Christian nation and the Bible should have a great deal of influence on the law, most of them are reluctant to say that they have a favorable view of Christian nationalism. So there seems to be some negative stigma with the term. Michael Rolotto, lead author of the report, said. All right, so they do have some charts and some graphs here. But, like I said earlier, I did kind of put the link in the description. I'm sorry, in the chat. So you guys can go ahead and read that whenever you get a chance and kind of go over the graphs and all of that, in your free time. Because for the sake of time here, I'm just trying to get through this as quick as possible. And plus to kind of explain some of these things later on in the article. While plurality of Americans, 44%, believe the government should promote Christian moral values, only 13% of respondents say the government should declare Christianity the official religion. And when I got down to this part, that kind of made me think, is the Christianity the official religion here in America? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I've read anywhere where it has officially been declared that America is a Christian nation. Because I think that even some of the people, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, some of the forefathers of this nation were not Christian at all. I think, namely, people like Thomas Jefferson, his name comes up a lot. Abraham Lincoln, but although he wasn't really he wasn't there signing the Declaration of Independence, but I think that there was a lot of people who really didn't consider themselves to be Christians when they were signing the Declaration of Independence, and some of those who we believe that have been very, very pivotal to the growth and the birth of this nation did not consider themselves Christians at all. All right. More than half of Christians across traditions agree about promoting Christian values, and around a quarter of white evangelicals, black Protestants, and Hispanic Protestants support making the faith official. All right, now hold on now. All right, so they said that black Protestants. How many of y'all black Protestants believe that this country should be considered a Christian nation? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. And as y'all come in, hit that like button no matter what platform you're watching from. All right. Let's continue. It was the first time Pew asked whether the federal government should officially declare Christianity as a nation's religion. Rolotto said Pew researchers found in a 2022 survey that when people were asked what came to mind when they think of a Christian nation, responses were all over the map. All right, so Kiana Shaw says, yeah, I think that we need to have this particular country officially labeled as a Christian nation. She says, and I want the laws to reflect it. All right, hold on, sis. You sound like you're a Christian nationalist. That sounds like some Christian nationalist talk. Do you support January 6th? All right, because that's the camp they're gonna put you in. They're gonna say, hey, you want to see the laws reflect those of the Bible? We pretty sure you got a MAGA hat somewhere. We're pretty sure that if you were out there, not saying that you were, that you would have stormed that Capitol, sis. Big Nate says the negative stigma is why I think it's more well known. It's used to label, to delegitimize and vilify white Christians. Yeah, and I totally agree with that, Big Nate. I really do. Kiana Shaw says that she is a Christian nationalizer. She says she don't have a MAGA hat. Do you have a? Are you planning on getting a MAGA hat, sis? Do you plan on getting a MAGA hat? You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Quote, it means things like general guidance of Christianity and society. It means that people have faith in God broadly. People didn't even specify the Christian God. People said things like a Christian nation means that people believing in something, Rotolo said. So that's what's actually inspired us to ask this new question for the first time. In the latest report, nearly half of Americans, 49%, say scripture should influence laws in the United States. White evangelicals, 86%, Hispanic Protestants, 78%, and black Protestants, 74%, most likely agree. That spirit moving, y'all. That spirit moving. Seem like that we got some Hispanics, blacks, and whites who are on the same page when it comes to this nation being labeled a Christian nation. All right. Y'all, listen, y'all can say what y'all want, but the Spirit of God is still moving on this nation, y'all. All right? So don't get that twisted. Let's not get it twisted. But again, at the same time, when it comes to polls and stuff like that, we know that they can kind of go one way or another depending on who they're asking. You see what I'm saying? Grace of Peace, Stevie Rankins. So depending on who they ask, determines the outcome of some of these polls, because I'm pretty sure if you go and ask some of these questions to some people who are more liberal, on the liberal side, then you'll probably get like a different mixture of, the numbers and all of that stuff. So let's always keep that in mind. They found that past surveys, Rotolo said, that people have a range of views on what that means in practice. Some people, he said, might be thinking that, quote, general moral teachings of the Bible would be parallel to what we see in laws, end quote. And that's actually what Kiana was just saying. She was saying that we should have our laws should reflect those of the Christian faith. You know what I'm saying? Which I agree. I totally agree with that. Wanting the Bible to have more influence was much stronger on the right, 42% of Republicans and independents, than lean Republican. And independents that lean Republican hold that when the Bible and the will of the people are in conflict, quote, the Bible should have more influence. How many of y'all believe in that? So therefore, whenever there's a split, whenever we're split on certain things, should the Bible be the reference point? Because I don't know that sound. Some people, they don't want sola scriptura. So you can't. You can't really depend on them scriptures. You got to have the church, and I don't even want to get into all of that. So, but again, there's all types of different trains of thought here in this particular country. So that's why I think that a lot of times, especially when it comes to the scriptures and what we believe should be the authority of the believer, the Christian believer, what should be the sole infallible authority? And that kind of goes into that whole particular topic of conversation and all of that. Keanu Shaw says, then my brother, you, according to the left, are Christian nationalists also at Action Justice. Whew. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I might be considered a Christian nationalist. I could be. But let's continue. Enough about me. Let's continue. A majority of adults say that they believe the Bible already does have, quote unquote, some influence on the country's laws, and atheists and agnostics have the highest percentage, over 80% each, responding that that was the case. Black Protestants are the group most likely to say that the Bible has, quote unquote, not much influence on U.S. laws, 59%, with white evangelicals next at 52%. So it seems like that most black evangelicals or black Protestants says that the Bible doesn't have much of an influence on the U.S. laws, right? So I don't know, y'all go ahead and let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Slightly more Americans, quote, say their religion makes them part of a minority group, end quote, and see their beliefs in conflict with mainstream culture than 4 years ago. Jewish and Muslim Americans are most likely to say their faith put them in a minority category compared to other faith traditions. White evangelicals were the most likely to see cultural conflict at 71%, though majorities of Jews and atheists said the same thing. So in this particular country, everybody claims that they're being oppressed. So they're saying that the Jews and the atheists, along with, according to this article, Jews, atheists, and white Christians, they all feel that the country is oppressing them because of their beliefs. I mean, kind of make you think. Kind of make you think about some things. Are we really just living within a bubble? You know, are we kind of just living in this bubble to where we see things one-sided, you know? And should we kind of take a step back sometime and look at the whole spectrum? Grace and peace, Black Atheist, grace and peace. All right, so again, here we are with some more polls. We got some more stats. And again, if you guys want to go ahead and click that link that I've sent in the chat, which is a direct link to this article, if you guys want to look at these stats and these polls more in context. All right, let's continue. Ahead of another polarizing presidential race, Americans are divided on how exactly the relationship of religion and public life should look. Increasing numbers of Americans want to avoid discussing religion entirely when they interact with people who disagree with them, up from 33% in 2019 to 41% of this year. And I gotta be honest. Even when it comes to discussing religion and politics, I've even shied away from that, you know. But I only bring up stuff like this is when I come across an interesting article, because I mean, trust me, I come across articles all the time that's talking about Christian nationalism and, you know, evangelicals with the Bible and what black people think about the president and this, that, and the third. And I just like, I don't even cover those topics because I'm like, maybe I could cover something else. That's going to be more edifying to the body. And plus, I don't want to, because politics and religion, when mixed together, can cause a lot of divisions, especially within the body. And I'm just like, I just don't, on my channel, I kind of don't want to do that. You know, I kind of want to just stick to what is really affecting the body, regardless of who's in office and who's not. Because once these elections come and go, then us as Christians, we still got some things that we got to try to work out, you know, amongst ourselves as a body of believers, multicultural. You know what I'm saying? Grace and peace, Matt Ricks. He says the answer options for this poll are lopsided. Where was the no? Only white nation options.
Bruh.
Matt Ricks, don't come in here running amok now. Now I know you don't really care for me too much, and you don't really care for my content. But no, I don't think it's lopsided. How many of y'all believe that a lot of the my poll questions are lopsided? Because I mean, you know, I'm the one who made it up, so therefore I may not believe that anything's wrong with it. But is Matt actually making sense? And since he brought it up, let's go ahead and go back to the poll that is only being shared on YouTube, where I'm asking the questions, are white Christians more concerned with building a Christian nation? So far, 22% of you say it's absolutely, that is Christian nationalism. 0% of you says nonsense. They're only worried about saving souls. 33% of you says it depends on who you ask. And 44% of you says that you are not sure. So basically what I'm saying is that, because he said that where was the no, only a white nation option? That would be the first option. And I only got so many characters that I could put, so I kind of had to try to make it short. Because to be honest, that first option, I was actually at the character limit. I couldn't put anything else. So that's why I'm asking, you know, because if you actually read it in context, and again, this is according to this particular article that we're reading. All right. So I don't want nobody saying that Alton's trying to be, you know, somewhat racist or black supremacist or whatever. I'm asking this question based on the article. Right. And I'm asking, are white Christians more concerned with building a Christian nation? You know, and the first option would be absolutely, if you actually believe that. You see what I'm saying? That's why I kind of asked it, you know, basically just saying absolutely, you know, / Christian nationalism. You know, Matt Rick says, You, my man, why would you say that? All right. Go ahead and give him one of these. All right. But no, I'm just messing around. KL says civilization has collapsed. What are we rebuilding on, if not Christianity? I mean, I gotta give him a horn for that, y'all. All right, let's continue. Let's go ahead and finish this up. A majority, 53%, say it is best to, quote, understand the other person's perspective and agree to disagree, end quote. But that number has dipped from 62% in 2019, and I agree with that. I agree with that. Only 5% say they believe proselytizing to be the best approach to, quote, try and persuade the other person to change their mind, end quote. White evangelicals at 14% are the most likely to say the best approach is persuasion. And that is the end of this particular article. And like I said, these poll numbers are subjective. I mean, again, it depends on who is being asked. All right? It depends on who's being asked when it comes to Christian influence, Christian nationalism, white evangelicalism. Thank you guys for showing up who are watching. And on Instagram right now, we got Kenzo, then we got Andrew and Mark who are watching on Instagram. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, y'all go ahead and hit that like button. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Matt Ricks, he says, I smashed the like button as soon as I come in and everything. That's what I'm talking about. Support for the channel. I really appreciate you guys who do support the channel. But let me go ahead and get into this real quick. And, before I go ahead and wrap this particular live stream up. Y'all know people call me Uncle Tom, Sambo, Coon, all of this type of stuff, right? So we already know that's been established. That's why I got the segments Coonin' with Alton. You know what I'm saying? Because, people have called me that over the years, and sometimes they still do. Sometimes they still do. But the reason why I'm bringing that out is because I fellowship with all types of people. Black, majority black and white. I do have some Hispanic brothers and sisters that I do know, as well as Asian, Indian, but majority of the people that I interact with are black and white evangelical Christians. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. When it comes to Christian nationalism, and especially according to this article that we just read, or asking the question, do white evangelicals want more of a Christian influence on the nation instead of a Christian nation overall? And to be honest with you, majority of the white evangelicals that I talk to, they actually want more of a Christian influence. All right? And I know some people may disagree, but I'm telling you, the people that I'm around, who some would consider white nationalists, or Christian nationalists or anything like that, these are the people that I've actually had conversations with in the background. Even some people that I know who support Donald Trump, like they want to see Donald Trump back in office. They got MAGA hats and all, MAGA flags and all of that stuff. And to be honest, they have their reservations about Donald Trump. Although they support Donald Trump, they actually want to see more people saved in this country, not just white people, but people all over. I mean, just transcending race and ethnicity and all of that. They want to see everyone come to Christ. They want to see more of a Christian influence on the nation instead of just having a bunch of people calling themselves Christians running the nation. Thank you, KL, for the super chat. It says a Jesuit said you dropped this. Hey, man, listen. Them Jesuits, man, just like my boss Abu, telling you, man, when you trying to stop the awakening, that Hebrew Israelite awakening, you gonna get paid for that. You get paid to stop that awakening. Actually, I'm supposed to be going to California in a couple of months, and I plan on doing another one of those parodies. For those who know, if you know, you know. But but let me kind of get back to this. But white evangelicals, the ones that I know, and again, the ones who a lot of people would consider Christian nationalists, they really care more about seeing more of a Christian influence up under this nation, right? Instead of trying to build this particular Christian nation. And I'm going to be honest with you. Even some of the people that I know that support Donald Trump, MAGA, all of that stuff, they believe that this country is on the decline. And some of them believe that this is our window to try to spread the gospel, to try to get souls saved. And some of them, they're just like, listen, we pray for the country, but the direction that it's going in and looking at the future generations, they don't have a high hope in this country becoming a Christian nation and being a beacon of light for Christians throughout the world. They just don't see that. They're just like, hey, listen, we just need to use this opportunity with the freedoms and the liberties that we got now and continue to keep fighting for the little bit of freedoms and liberties that we got now in order to advance the gospel. So that's why when it comes to this particular headline, I do agree with it because I'm around these people. These people that people would consider Christian nationalists and white evangelicals, all of that. So I just look at them as brothers and sisters in the faith, just like I look at a lot of my black brothers and sisters in the faith. I mean, we're all one body at the end of the day. So this particular conversation transcends all of this particular talk about, black evangelicals or black Protestants versus black evangelicals and white people here and black people there, regardless, because a lot of the people that I'm in connection with, like, we're so focused on the gospel and getting the word of God out that, and I know some people hate when people like me say this, but we really don't, we know that there's difference in skin tone, skin complexion, and all of that stuff. But when it comes to us advancing the gospel, like, we know how to put that stuff to the side because that's what mature believers in the faith do. Mature believers in the faith are not so focused on skin color, race, ethnicity, all of that stuff. And I know it's hard for some people to hear that. But then that's where we kind of got to question your maturity in the faith. Because let's just face it, there are people on both sides, especially black and white, who are very immature in their faith. And they believe that just because they was raised in a nation that is predominantly Christian, and they were raised in a predominantly Christian household, and they grew up in church and all of that, they think that that automatically makes them Christian, and that they actually know more than a person such as myself who grew up in a secular household, who didn't grow up, with the Bible being preached, and, we didn't go to church or anything like that. They think that, well, I grew up in the church, I know how this goes, so I know more than you. But the workings of the Holy Spirit, it transcends how long a person has been in church. I know there's probably some people who have been raised in church all their lives and they went straight to hell. That's reality. There are some people who have been raised in church, grown, born and raised in the church. They're in hell right now. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter how long you done been in church or you done grew up around Christians. Just like Sister Kiana Shaw says, that means that discipleship wasn't done correctly. Correct. But I'm telling you, when it comes to mature believers in the faith, black, white, or indifferent, we're only concerned about the Christian influence here in this nation and any other nation that we're impacting or influencing, or that we have the ability to impact or influence. I'm telling you, there's a lot of times, especially coming from white evangelicals, they praise the Christians who are in places like China, in North Korea, India, You know, people who are getting beaten, killed, and persecuted for their faith. You know, excuse the dogs barking in the background. You know what I'm saying? I guess somebody is at the door or walking by the house. But, but Christians, white evangelicals, they praise a lot of these people who are actually suffering for the faith, and they're just like, look at us, we're over here with our phones and our iPads, and you know we get butt hurt because of a tweet that is going out, or somebody made a YouTube video about us, and we think that that's Christian persecution. And they just like, some of these people done got ran out of their villages. And they're just like, man, you know, are we really prepared to take on that type of persecution? You know, and that's something to always think about. And it's always something that you do want to keep in mind, especially as this election comes up. Don't be swayed by these terms, Christian nationalism and white evangelicals and black Christians and all of that stuff. Because a lot of that stuff is meant to distract you from our major goal, which is to spread the gospel. Because that's what the enemy does, is to divide and conquer. He wants us all divided, so therefore we got black people worshiping and doing things a certain way over here, and then we got white people over here, then we got Hispanic people, and he wants to see us all pitted against each other. Because if we're so busy fighting each other, how are we going to spread the gospel to those who really need it? It's just something to consider. All right, well, listen, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Y'all know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button if y'all have not done it yet. Let's go ahead and read the final results of this poll, where I'm asking, only on YouTube, are white Christians more concerned with building a Christian nation? So far, 17% of you says absolutely, Christian nationalism. 0% of you says nonsense, only saving souls. 50% of you says it depends on who you ask. And 33% of you says that you are not sure. Grace and peace, Texas chick, grace and peace. She says, amen, Alton. Well stated. Much love to all here. All right, listen, man. Y'all know my little spiel at the end of these videos. All right. Go ahead, like this video, rate it, share it, subscribe, hit that notification bell so whenever I do get ready to go live, you guys will be the first ones here. Whenever I hit that live button, and plus you'll get a notification 30 minutes before I go live. Like, I'm supposed to be going live later on today, so you guys will be the first ones there. And then as soon as I drop a video, you guys will be the first ones to see the video as soon as it drops. But with that, I wish you guys have a great day the rest of your day. The day is almost over. It's almost 5 o'clock, but enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you guys next time, Lord willing. Peace.